If you've been looking for a real-world map, then look no further. Large H Mapping has got you covered. This is GrayStone Farm. Hello everyone, Argsy here. Welcome along to our first ever map tour for Farming Simulator 22. We're here, this is GrayStone Farms by Large H Mapping. This is set in the Rockingham area of North Carolina, only about a 20-minute drive from where Large H lives, so based on a real-world location. Now, Large H has released a couple of maps on FS19, Glenwood Farms and Fredericksburg, both in Virginia, both based on real-world locations as well. We did some map tours, took a look at both of those maps, and I think he did a pretty stellar job on both of them for a newish map maker, and I think both maps were pretty underrated. We didn't get the airtime they deserved. We're here now, this is his first foray into Farming Simulator 22, and he's using it as a little bit of a experiment, bit of a refresher on what is required to make a map for Farming Simulator 22 before he embarks on what is a larger project. I think he has a 4x map up his sleeves, but we're not here to talk about that. We're here to look at Greystone. Now this is at the moment PC only. We were talking to Large H the other day. He does not have any plans at this stage to bring it to console, and it is a 1x map. Now, to avoid any confusion, 1x is a standard map, 2 kilometers by 2 kilometers. You see a 4 kilometer by 4 kilometer fits 4 2x2 squares in it. That's why they refer to them as a 4x. So this is a 1x, not a 2x. 2x's technically don't exist. Had this conversation a number of times with other map makers, so hopefully that will clear things up for people when you're referring to a map. 1x, 4x. We're down here. This is the starter farm where you start off, and we'll take a look at the map. We'll have a look across all the different farm areas, take a look at the price of some of the fields, and then go for a bit of a drive around. So if we just pop the map up, so it's just divided into, I guess, 3 areas. There's the road that runs through the centre of it here from down in the bottom left corner up where we are. We are down here. This is the starter farm. Runs up through the middle and it comes out here at the top right. There's a secondary road which branches off not far along here and runs along the bottom of the map, and then a third road which branches up off there. And then throughout there's some gravel roads. There's a gravel road which comes up here between fields 100 and 101 and weaves its way through. So plenty of ways to get around the map. Now what you'll see, as mentioned, 101, that is how many fields there are, or at least how many numbered fields there are. There are also some here unnumbered grass fields. But the main feature is all the open space. Well, not open, lots and lots of trees. And that is exactly what it is like in this part of North Carolina. Lots of trees around. Field sizes vary immensely. Fields 10 and 11 here, 59, 58. There is some tiny, tiny fields, ranging up to some more mid-sized fields, 29, 36, 56 over here, number 8 up the top. Some still not big fields by standards, but obviously when you're working with real-world locations, this is what they are actually in the real world, and that's what Large H has gone for here. So we'll go for a drive and have a look at some of those, but he has mentioned some of the machinery, some of the sizes of the machinery, and that in his brief description. So as far as equipment is concerned, Large H has put a little note in here. Generally smaller southern style equipment common within the area of Rockingham. Largest combines you'd find would be a smaller S series or 740 Lexion type combines. And then in terms of brands, obviously John Deere and Case, as they are around a lot of America, and then also some New Holland and Mossy, all pretty common in this part of North Carolina. So plenty of options there, and we're certainly seeing some more mods coming through, which will widen your scope for picking mods which fit within this area. So as I said, we're down here at the starter farm. Just have a look there, that is the land that you own. So you do own a couple of larger fields over the other side, 82 and 85, and these smaller ones down the back. Just take a quick look. These ones are grouped together have a price of $30,000, so not very expensive. See 44 and 45 there, only $12,000. 29, 133,000. Then you've got others, so you've got a clump of fields in here, $171,000, but you do get a big assortment of fields. So there's a lot of different scope. Just click around on some. Down here, another big one. But a lot of different scope for how you might want to buy fields and set things up. So there's 5 farms in total, 3 horse pastures, and like I said, 101 numbered fields. There is no other animal pens at the moment. It is strictly horses, and talking to Large H again, that is pretty much all that there is around this part of the world. There doesn't seem to be any cattle or sheep or anything like that. And one other feature that we'll see a lot of around here, and I do just want to point out, these Powell tobacco dryers. Now, obviously, tobacco is not a crop option, or at least not at this stage. I do know Large H would like to see in the future tobacco brought onto the map and integrated into it. So I know he has that in his plans, but just for now, to get the map complete and released so people can start playing it and enjoying it, these are decorative only. But keep an eye out for them. There is a few of them scattered all around. So let's just take a quick look here at the starter farm. Lots of open storage. You can see barns over there. Big open, decent sized drive-through park there. Love the deer, look at them. It's actually a good collection of deer there. A lot of them. But we'll just run around the back here. Bit of a worker's cottage. Some more covered roof areas there. We do have one silo. This is a silo there. You would need a, as you can see there, flat bottom silo when we stand next to it. So you need to use the augers there. It's the Meridian one. That is part of the base game. Silo on the right there is decorative. Does have a dryer there. Again, non-functioning at this stage, although I'm assuming if someone was to come out with a mod, that could quite easily be replaced. We move over this side. Another shed here. Opening doors. That open up. A little workshop set up. You can turn lights on and off. I do like the new triggers that FS22 has come with, where you don't actually have to go and find a light switch. But if you wanted to, they are there. Now we just move over here. You can see some more of the tobacco dryers. And another, I believe, this might be a sell point for hay and straw. So that is really the starter farm. You do have a diesel tank there as well. So not a bad little setup, not a bad little spot to be starting off with. Lots of storage, lots of space to move around. Still have your silos and a few fields to start off with. So we'll just, we might actually just go for a quick little drive down the back here. Go and check out the fields you do start with. And I will make sure I have the mini-map open. So you can get a bearing there for where we are. And we'll go down here and have a look, see the size of these, because I don't think until you've seen them you'll fully appreciate it. One thing I do want to mention, this map is still in beta testing, it's not the final product, so the topography and you look at the outside of the map, this has just been lowered down to make it simple if Large H to work on the map. He doesn't tend to lift that up, so it's more seamless here, right on the edge of the field, edge of the map. We'll just go for a little drive across these fields here. You can see, tiny, just 58 there is really just a single pass sliver. As is 57 and 59 there. Now of course, there's nothing stopping you playing all those together, and I think anyone who jumped into this would do just that. But Large H has certainly honoured the current layout of the farms without making any of those changes, and leaving it up to you to be as flexible with it as you like. Right, so we'll just pause here for a second. We'll take a look. We're going to head down the road. We'll go and take a look at the horse pasture here, see what that is. Obviously it's a fueling point, but see if there's anything else there. And I think we'll head down the right hand side here, head down towards the animal dealer, come up this road, check out what's over here, and then make our way back up, see if we can weave our way through here somewhere to get up to the top of the map. Come back down the road here, and then we'll hang a right and head up here to these other horse pastures and see what else we can find. So we'll head on down the road and stop at any points of interest. So just immediately opposite the starter farm out here on the road is fields number 85, see 82 in the distance. Larger field again, so it doesn't just leave you with the smaller fields at the back of the farm. There is a bigger one there you can start off with. So, like we said, plenty of options when you do make a start on this map and decide where you might want to start. We'll just pull in here on the left. This is the first of the horse areas. This is GrayStone Farm. Now, GrayStone Farm it's a bit of a campground. You just have a look at the sign there. Lessons, camps, parties. It's a little bit of a, not really a touristy farm, but it is a visitor's farm. You can go there, you can have a look around, see what's going on, and partake in some of the farm activities. So we've got a few different things. Water trigger just hiding there behind the shed. Got an opening shed here. You can wander through. Side door which doesn't seem to open unless it has to be open from the outside. Go this door open as well. Walk through here, a bit of a horse corral there on the left. And out the back here is our first horse pasture. We've got our water feed trigger and pop over here to the buy point. See our horses there. In fact, let's just buy a couple. And there we go. There's our 4 horses we've just bought. Walking around here in the pasture. Back at the front here, the brick barn here is decorative. These doors have no opening to them, so it is just there looking good. And then if we head over this side, there's a few more open sheds for storage. A couple of smaller ones, a larger, longer one you can see up here, and a fuel trigger as well. Just on the side of the shed there you can see the fuel tank. And some more of these tobacco dryers. So again, if you wanted to start off doing horses, you could come here and set yourself up as a little bit of a rancher. Alright, so we'll leave GrayStone Farms now. We'll head along the road here and we'll find the street to head down, or the road to head down on the right, and head along the bottom of the map. So here we are, this is the junction. Just take a right down here and start to make our way around the bottom. As you'll see as we drive around, lots of trees. Now, one thing to comment about that, previously, FS19, if you saw a map with this many trees on it, you would probably run for cover for frame rates. I'm sitting on 60 frames per second quite comfortably, no issues whatsoever. So certainly with the new tree models and things like that, having a map with lots of trees on it like this is not quite so much of a worry. Now you'll see as we drive around to the bottom around here, the map opens up just a little bit. There's a few more crops, a few more open fields. See the track running up in between them. Quite a nice area. Not quite sure. Whoops, ran over the sign. It was down already. It was not me. Church sitting out there in the middle of nowhere, just in a field with nothing around it. Nice little feature though. If you were into any roleplay, you could possibly integrate that and incorporate it into some storyline somehow. I'm sure some of you who are smart and enjoy that would find that quite nice to do. Now, just pulling in here on the left, this is the animal dealer. Not much to it at the moment. It is just a building, more like a house than a animal dealership. And if we just stand here, we do have the trigger, obviously, for which are the 3 horse pens we might want to buy the animals and put them into. I expect if you came here with a animal trailer, you could buy them and not have to worry about having them delivered anywhere. You could avoid that delivery fee. So that is the animal dealer. I know Large H is aware that there is no visible trigger. Is working on making sure that is there in the final release. We'll just take a quick look at the map just to see where we've come. We've been here at the starter farm. We drove along here, turned right, came down past these fields. These are the more open fields we talked about. Past here you can see the church building was just there, and that was our animal dealer. So we're just heading down almost at the bottom right hand corner of the map. We'll hang a left up past field 100 and head up towards these structures up here. Take a look at what those are. And in fact, before we do that, just notice a placeable silo up in there. So obviously a storage point. You could buy that piece of land and have a silo there for some of your crops. To the edge of the map there ahead of us, we're going to take a left and head up the track up this way. Field 100 here on the left. Field 101, the last field on the right. A few more of the tobacco dryers. We're coming up here on these structures. They are in fact greenhouses. You can see the nice pond there, beautiful reflections off the water. So obviously making the most of some of those mechanics which are now in the game with the production chains is to bring in the greenhouses there. So they're all set up, ready with some water trigger or water fill point, at least over there in front of the barn or in front of that shed. You can come over here and fill these up. Nice little track that runs down the side here. Interesting with the change to the greenhouse mechanics, whether you might need to use a skid steer loader or something like that to get in here and lift the pallets out. There is a track, albeit very loosely formed, around the bottom here. A lone shed to put your equipment in, and it's a diesel tank as well. Just come up here and make sure these doors open. They do indeed. In here, and we've got another shed with lights. So if you were running a little greenhouse operation, you'd have somewhere to store your equipment, maybe take some of your produce and store it in a bit of a cool store as well. Nice to see little things like this, which just give the map a little bit of character. Abandoned trailer. Not something you can use, but it does just, I guess, define the edge of the field a little bit. Makes you realise you can't actually come along and plough that field up a little bit wider if you wanted to. Now I do know, I'm not going to give it away, I think there needs to be some surprises on the map. There's a little bit of illegal activity happening on the other side of that pond, so if you do get here onto Greystone, make sure you go out and take a look at that. There's some nice little touches all around that Large H has included in his map, which just adds to the aesthetic and the feel of them. Alright, we'll just follow this track up here and around to the left. I don't know if it'll come out somewhere where we can get to main road or not, but we're just going to go for a little bit of a drive and see where it takes us. So our gravel track didn't take us anywhere. We've actually just had to cut across the wheat field there behind us. But this is a real build it and they will come moment. Just stumbled across a baseball diamond. Not a bad view to look out at. I'm not sure if you'd want to field in that outfield though. It's a little bit uneven. I think if you were hitting, you'd want to hit to deep left field. Deep right field's a bit uphill. But nice little surprise. Like I said, just little things like that, a little bit out of the ordinary that you'll just find as you're looking around the map. So where are we? We are down here at field number 80. We're going to find our way up here to the top of the map. In fact, what I'm probably going to do, we'll head back down to the junction here and we'll take a right hand turn and head back up the road. Alright, so we're back here at the intersection. We'll hang a right, head back along the road here. Back to our left would have been to take us back down to the starter farm. We'll head all the way along this road and take in a few of the key areas as we drive along, see what else we can find. So just near field 31, just going to turn right in here, Mossy Pine Ranch. Now, I've obviously already been driven in here. We've just come along here. This is another one of the farms. A little shed here on the right. It does have a diesel trigger with it, so there's some point there for some storage. But if we run around the back here a little bit further, we're going to head into the main part of this farm, which has a few more sheds, a bit more space to store equipment in. Obviously quite a lot of open flat level space, which is important. We're wanting to put some placeables down. The farmhouse there, and a couple more of the tobacco dryers. So lots of space there to build or develop your own farm if that's what you wanted to do. We head back out this way, head back out to the main road, and we'll hang a right and carry on our trip up to the top corner of the map. So about 2/3 of the way along the road, heading up to the top. In here on our left is one of the main sell points. Now I haven't actually touched on sell points yet. We'll get in here, we'll drive in and we'll take a look at those and just show you exactly how many there are. There are not too many. So you can see us there, we are up here at the, I guess sort of top right of the map. There's another little road we didn't mention earlier which goes off to the corner, and the road we were heading along which heads along that way. And here we have our main buy point. This is the shop trigger, workshop trigger there as well. So when you buy your equipment, it will all come in there. In fact, if we just go and take a quick look, we'll buy a tractor, or lease a tractor at least, and see where it will spawn when we pick it up. So we've just leased a Mossy 3670, and trigger, or the spawn point is right there, immediately next to the trigger. So not too far at all. Plenty of space along there to line things up. So be mindful if you had a combine or some bigger equipment that you were buying of exactly how much space it might take to fill it up. we'll just carry on around here. So coming up, this is one of the sell points, and we've got a second sell point there as well. So under the menus, sell points, we've got the grain elevator there. I think probably find if we scroll down to some of the other objects, also the grocery mart there for some of the production chain items. Now none of that's obviously built into the map. Large H hasn't put down any of those, but if you chose to go down that route, you could obviously place your own using the in-game build menu. So those are our main two sell points, and in fact if I click through, there is actually only 3 that I have seen, the third being the animal dealer for the hay and straw. And just on the map there, the top trigger there is the grain elevator, down the bottom here is the grocery mart, and what we were calling the animal dealer was where we were at the starter farm, was where you could sell hay bales. And that trigger there, obviously down at the actual animal dealer where you buy the animals from, there isn't anything. So Large H may rename that, we'll just have to wait and see. But that is where, if you're going to sell silage, hay bales, those kind of things, where you would take them. Otherwise, everything else is up here at these main sell points. So we'll just drive out here, we'll head along the road here just a little bit further, just go and check out the top corner of the map. And then we'll come back down and head up to the second and third of the horse pastures. Just as we're driving along here, you see a sort of house there in the middle of nowhere, surrounded by a few trees. Again, no issues with frame rates with all of these trees. And we're coming up here towards the end of the road, so to speak. One last house, and then this is our turnaround point. See, we're not going to be able to go any further than that. Some nice little views you can look through across a couple of pastures or fields and look in the distance at the crops. Different outlooks in each different area as you head around. We'll just head back down the main road, one that runs through the centre. We're heading towards the starter farm at the moment, and we've got this road here on our right, which is quite a tight turn, so be mindful of what equipment you've got, whether you need to swing out on that. And we'll head up here towards the last of the horse pastures, and that'll just about be time to wrap things up. Just as we're driving along here, just looking across there, all the different size pastures, different size fields, and different shape fields. And that is one thing that I think this map really excels at, is the unique nature and shapes of the fields. Everything is, every field is different to the other ones. There's no square fields. They wrap around each other, they are small, large, they're all sorts of shapes, which just gives it a really, to me, really unique field. Look at the size of these two fields up here, just on the left, fields 10 and 11. Tiny, tiny. Right, it's just, we're just going to cut the corner across here. This is the last of the horse pastures. So there is 2 horse pastures here. Obviously got a water trigger just there for filling up the water. But we pop into here, got 1 horse pasture here. Barn located in the middle. Nice looking little barn, and then on the other side is the second of the horse pastures. A little bit of a corral and area in here for training the horses. And then over in the distance here you can see a few more sheds, and I'd say it's another fuel trigger. Just looking at the mini-map, the little blue dot. Let's take a quick run over here. I do like the higher fences that are used sort of for keeping the horses in. And indeed, we've got another shed, some more tobacco dryers, and a diesel fill point here. So another little spot that you can set up shop if that is what you desire. So there we are. That has been my overview of GrayStone Farms, the first Farming Simulator 22 map that we have had the pleasure of taking a look at. As I said earlier, this is still in a work in progress. It is a testing version that Large H has shared with myself and a few others along with his testing team to take a look at, see what we think, share with the community. Now, he had been targeting a release on or around Christmas. There's been a few issues in the last few days with the recent update for Farming Simulator 22, which has caused a few issues with Giant's Editor. So that date might be a little bit fluid, but the best way to keep up to date with what is going on with Large H is to follow him on his Facebook page, go and give him a like and keep up to date with his release there. He also has an itch.io page where he'll be releasing his map. So make sure, as we suggest with all modders, is find the original link, go and download it from there. Don't trust any links you find on third-party websites. It's been a little bit chaotic as launched FS22 with people wanting to get mods and get back to where they were on FS19 with availability of equipment faster than what they probably should, which has led to some, let's say, less than perfect mods being put out there, often without the original modder's permission or even without their knowledge, which is a bit of a shame. So do go make sure you give the original modder, and in this case Large H, a like on Facebook and follow him for where he will release his map and show some support to him that way. But for me, I hope you have enjoyed that tour. Thank you all very much for watching. Hope to be able to bring you many more map tours as the maps are released for Farming Simulator 22. Looking forward to seeing what other mappers can come up with and what sort of original maps we can get. So thank you all very much for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.